Hello, welcome to Never Seen It, a podcast about movies that we haven't seen yet. I'm going to be your host today. I'm Betsy, and with me is my co-host and my husband Trent.
Hey there, Betsy.
So I'm hosting again this week because we're doing another movie that I have watched, but Trent has not. And we could do an Oscar movie today because those nominations came out this morning. But no, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to do something completely different. We are watching from 2007, Shoot 'Em Up!
Not an Oscar-nominated movie.
No, this is about the hardest left turn from an Oscar movie we could think of off the top of our heads, and that's why we're doing it.
And we are consciously choosing to do it this way because, when we do nothing but Oscar movies in a row, maybe it might turn some people off and might think, oh, these guys are just like these high and mighty, artsy fartsy kind of people. No, we are definitely not. We like all kinds of different movies here on this show. So guess what? We're going to watch a stupid action movie.
Hell yeah, we are. So like I said, I have watched this. You have not. Any reason you haven't seen this yet, Trent, or just we haven't gotten around to it?
We just haven't gotten around to it because you have been after me forever to watch this movie. And how many times have you even watched it?
Honestly, I think I've only watched this maybe once.
Yeah.
It's possible twice, but I would be willing to bet I've seen this movie exactly one time.
Yeah. So it left an impression on you at the very least.
It did. It is unlike a lot of movies that I have seen. So what do you know in the 15, 16 years this has been around about Shoot 'Em Up?
So it's Clive Owen as the main character, I guess. Paul Giamatti is the villain, I think.
That sounds about right.
And Monica Bellucci is the female in this.
I don't remember that, but again, it's been
just
some
from
years.
The poster, I got that because I had to look up what year this came out, and it was 2007. So as far as like the rest of the plot of the movie, I don't even know if there is a plot to this movie based on the title. And speaking of the title, the term shoot 'em up usually refers to a video game or a genre of video games. And I feel like maybe they're trying to evoke that kind of a thing where this is just fun. You're supposed to have fun with this.
So what is your assumption based on that bit of knowledge?
It's probably just a bunch of shooting. And probably not a lot of dialogue. And that's all. That's it.
Okay. So I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you may pick up on a certain vibe in this movie that seems an odd choice, but is intentional.
Are they doing the Mickey Mouse effect where they're shooting along with the music? No.
Okay. You're on the right track, but that's not what I'm going for. The first time I watched this, I was like, is this intentional? And I looked into it and it is intentional. So
okay.
I will leave it at that. When it starts, I think you will understand what I'm talking about.
All right.
But since you probably otherwise have no knowledge about what we're going to go watch, we're just going to go do it. We are going to go watch Shoot 'Em Up, and we will be right back. And we're back. That was Shoot 'Em Up, the Best Picture Oscar winner for 2000. Best Actor, Clive Owen.
No.
Best Original Screenplay. And 400 other Oscar nominations. Trent, how do you feel?
That was one of the most ludicrous movies, and I loved every minute of it.
This movie's bad. Like, it's terrible, but also perfect.
It's amazing. So as long as we're mentioning the Oscar thing, this right here is an argument to make a fucking stunt Oscar. Like best stunt coordinator, best stunt whatever. Best stunt crew. There are over 80 people who did stunts for this movie. I counted them. I counted them in the credits.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because the entire movie is a stunt.
Yes.
It's just one action scene followed by another,
Yes.
another. And it is more gunfire and more ridiculous, like sliding on things and crashing through cars and jumping out of airplanes.
I've seen a lot of action movies, maybe not as many as we would like. And there's maybe more shooting in this movie than a lot of them that I've seen.
Well, that was
ridiculous.
That was the whole point. The director decided that for these action sequences, the focal point would be guns.
Well, yeah.
The action is guns.
And more guns.
And how about some more guns?
And some shooting and bullets and guns.
And
guns.
Shooting. Yeah, this movie just starts immediately, gives you next to no setup, and you just know within 30 seconds what kind of ridiculous movie that's going to be.
I just had this thought here and just kind of thinking about the first action scene. This reminds me of The Transporter.
Okay.
Do you remember a lot about that movie?
No. I've seen it once.
The Transporter is one of the best movies for, like, fight choreography. Mm-hmm. It is the first thing I ever saw Jason Statham in. And its fight scenes are iconic because they're very creative. Like, the first scene is Jason Statham, like, pouring like motor oil over the top of him to make himself slippery and pouring oil out in front of like all of the bad guys he's beating up, and he breaks off some like bike pedals to get himself some traction, and he puts them on his feet, and it's this ridiculous thing
that
but
would
it's
never
so
happen.
cool to look at that no one would think to do. But it's the same kind of concept where he is an ex-military man who knows how to fight, who knows how to use guns. And yeah.
But that's the thing about this one is you're only getting it from Paul Giamatti. So Paul Giamatti shows up and he's acting crazy as he is, game to do.
Uh-huh.
And they say he is an FBI profiler. And he corrects them. He's like, no,
right.
I was he gave it some fancy term, but he used to work for the FBI. So that's who he is. And he figures out by process of elimination, because he's such a smart guy, that he believes he knows who this guy is.
Right.
And he is trained by black ops, and his wife and son were killed in this horrible shootout at a cafe. Mm-hmm. And he says to him, am I right? Tell me, am I right? And he never confirms it.
Yeah.
So as far as we know, none of that is applying to Clive Owen. He is just called Smith. He is really good with guns. We have no idea who he is. We don't know his real name. We don't even know if his profile that Paul Giamatti came up with is right.
I feel like Paul Giamatti's character is pretty on the nose when it comes to his profile because he's so good at figuring out where Mr. Smith goes.
Okay, this is just such a stupid plot point because he's like a fucking mind reader. Like, he is on the right street every fucking time, and he's 2 steps behind him, and it never makes any sense.
It doesn't, other than the fact that he just explains it away by saying, oh yeah, I've had this gift since I was a kid. What gift?
He's just so good at hide and seek. But yeah, they just start the movie. There's this pregnant woman on the run, and she runs past him sitting on a bench.
Yeah, he's on this slanted bench for some reason.
On a hillside, ? We don't really know.
Eating a carrot.
Eating a carrot.
As he is wont to do a lot.
And then another guy comes up with a gun behind her.
Well, I've seen this guy before. The first guy who shows up.
There's a lot of these guys, the goons.
The tough guys,
that just play goons in a lot of movies. But yeah, he sees the guy go after her with a gun, and that's not gonna do, so he gets involved.
This pregnant woman is running away, and this guy like crashes his car chasing after her, and he says, I'm gonna kill you, fucking bitch. And it's like, oh god, okay, I'm gonna get up off my stoop and get involved here, because you can't just go after a running pregnant woman. Come on.
No. And we have no explanation for why he's there. We don't know why he gets involved other than, shit, I guess I have to get involved.
And he's not armed.
He's not armed. He doesn't carry a weapon with him, but she's got a gun. So it just turns very quickly into him stabbing a guy through the throat with a carrot.
Saying, eat your vegetables.
Saying, eat your vegetables.
There's so many one-liners in this movie.
Terrible.
They're terrible.
Terrible.
But he delivers them so well.
Just completely straight.
Yes.
He's committed to doing this terrible dialogue.
And this is going to be quick because we're just going to run through this.
But yeah, there's not a lot that happens. She is saved. He saves her.
Yep.
But then there's more bad guys coming. So he delivers her baby.
Second time, Clive Owen delivers a baby on screen.
Within a couple of years of this particular movie. Yes. So he delivers her baby whilst shooting the bad guys.
Right.
And then once the baby is born, he cuts the umbilical cord by shooting through it. But of course...
I love the idea of gun as tool.
Yes.
It's a utility item.
It's a utilitarian device. And he's getting like pissed off because her gun is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But he manages to deliver this baby, but then she dies in the crossfire. And it's just this absurd action sequence that ends with her dying, and he gets away and he's about to leave the baby, but he decides to take the baby with because he just can't leave this baby with the bad guys.
Because of course. I mean, he got involved already, so guess what? I guess he's gonna be a father now.
So now it's nameless guy with a nameless baby. We don't know why these people are after him. And it's
all these goons are chasing after him.
And everyone just finds him.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
The next scene, he's up on the roof and there's the sign, which of course I knew they was going to do something with the sign.
Of course. It says like Faulkner or Falk Tools.
Yeah, it's a bunch of F's and K's and...
He shoots out the letters that leave F-U-K-U. And he just goes, fuck you, you fucking fuckers.
Fuck you, you fucking fuckers. And Paul Giamatti shoots it to show fuck you too.
Yeah.
Because, that's just, it's great. It's just great. Of course you're going to say that in this movie.
That's the movie we're watching. Yep.
And of course, that is the introduction to this entire thing. All of these characters are ridiculous and they know it. Yeah, at this point, I'm totally sold. I'm into this fucking movie.
And the soundtrack is just a bunch of rock music. And this is like a big budget licensed music fun fest.
Fucking New Line put this out. A major studio put this out.
This was not a small movie.
They put a budget behind it. Like you said, there is all sorts of music in here. I wrote down all of them that I recognized anyway. We start off with a Nirvana track, then we get Wolfmother, Motorhead, AC/DC, Iggy Pop, Motley Crue, and Paul Oakenfold.
I left before Paul Oakenfold was playing.
I didn't recognize that one. I had to see that one in the credits. But yeah.
Yeah, so this was an interesting soundtrack. So it's all like what you'd expect in an action movie, kind of generic electronic music and rock music. But unlike a lot of them, this is real rock music you recognize.
Exactly. And I fucking hate when action movies cheap out on getting music that you recognize. People are coming to your movie to have a great time, and that just made it even better because I knew the songs.
Yeah, it just like jacks you up because you hear
dun, 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 dun. It's
like, I know that song! And then it becomes just part of the plot, too.
Yeah.
So he has this baby, he's on the run, he keeps trying to get rid of the baby, but people are trying to kill the baby. So he tries to leave the baby in a park, but he can't.
He puts it on the merry-go-round.
And there's a sniper, so he has to use his gun to spin the merry-go-round so they can't hit the baby. And then he just scoops the baby up and he runs away. And he goes where any logical person would go, to the
brothel.
To the brothel where people are dressed like nuns. But they're not nuns, they're sexy nuns.
And of course, I was totally faked out. I saw him going into the thing. It looked like a church from the outside.
It is a church from the outside.
It is? Oh, God.
Yeah, it is a church that has been done over. It is an abandoned church. It is now a whorehouse.
And that's kind of funny because there is a church in town where we live that was a church. Then it got turned into a tattoo shop and painted pink.
Yes.
And then turned back into a church. Within like the past couple of years.
Sure. Why not? But yeah, similar sort of thing. And he goes to see the one prostitute he knows that had a baby. So she has abundant breast milk.
Uh-huh.
And she is using it for her clients. So when we're first introduced to Monica Bellucci, she's got some middle-aged dude in a diaper sucking on her titties.
These guys with the mommy kinks, I can't get behind.
It's weird.
I can't get behind that, guys. I'm okay with a lot of different stuff. That's not right, buddy.
It's weird. It goes a little bit far, and especially because he's in a diaper. He is a grown man.
Yep.
Yeah, I get a kink, fine, okay, but
Too far.
not
Too far.
not for us. But yeah, he tries to convince her to help him out. I'll give you $5,000 to take care of this baby for a week, and she's just about to do it, and then she's just like, "Fuck you!" And she's doing, her full Italian accent this entire movie. She's not even pretending to be an American. She speaks Italian a lot.
Yeah.
So she's just like, "No, I won't do it. Okay, we'll just hold on to the baby for a day.
For a
No.
day, you can keep the entire thing for a day.
No, I won't
No,
do
I
it.
won't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's left to go and figure out something else. But in the meantime, Paul Giamatti, because he's a smart man, he figures out, well, this baby's gotta eat. So we have to find all of the hookers who are wet nurses.
Right. And of course, because he thinks that somehow Smith is going to take the baby to one of these people.
He just knows.
He just
Trent.
knows.
For plot reasons,
God.
he knows everything about this man. He knows
God.
his every move before he
Yeah.
does.
And yeah, Paul Giamatti does his thing with the gun and like shooting all the milk bottles and putting the
hot barrel
up to her skin and torturing her. That's fucked up.
The more I shoot, the hotter it'll get, and the
Yeah.
more it'll hurt.
Yeah. And then of course Smith shows up, says, "What's up, Doc?" We haven't mentioned all of that yet.
So this is what I was getting at in the intro. The first time we see him, he's literally chomping on a carrot. And they show him with a carrot probably 12 times throughout this movie. He grows them in his apartment.
Yep.
He finds them at a street vendor and he's
Yep.
eating them. Yeah, basically the main character design for his character was Bugs Bunny.
Yep.
Think Bugs Bunny. And it's absolutely over the top, cartoonish, absurd. You almost expected him during certain places to go, "Ain't I a stinker?"
He almost does.
Break the fourth wall and just
Yeah.
look at the audience like, "Aren't I so silly?" So yeah, they have that. And then in this scene, when he says, "What's up, Doc?" That was when I was like, oh, no, this is definitely on purpose. So he confronts Paul Giamatti's character. They have a little shootout. Once he is on the ground, his phone is ringing. So, like, there's a cut scene. We think he's dead. He's not dead because that's the kind of movie this is. His phone rings. Did you recognize the song that was playing on his phone?
Oh, God. No, I probably would have recognized it if it kept on going, but no.
Da 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 da.
Kill the wabbit. Kill the wabbit.
His fucking ringtone is
God.
"Kill the Wabbit," and then he even says like, "Oh, this bunny just keeps going and going and going."
Yeah.
There's a lot of jokes about bunnies and that. So yeah, when I say this was a choice they made, it was a choice they made.
Yeah, and there's also all these jokes about, before all that in the hallway, they're talking about like blowing your load in that room. And then these are like smart guns and they have to have like the fingerprint thing. And Mr. Smith took one of the guns off of one of the dead guys and it's got one of those things. And Paul Giamatti says, "Well, you're not going to be able to shoot that one because it has the thumbprint, blah, blah, blah."
It only recognizes the right shooter.
Right. And he picks up a fucking severed hand
Out of his pocket.
And just
in his
uses
pocket.
that, and then he shoots Paul Giamatti.
Nothing like a hand job.
Nothing like a hand job.
Yeah, again, listeners, if you are wondering what kind of a movie this is,
High art. That's what this is.
the highest grossing Oscar winner of all time.
I have no idea how well this movie did.
So one of the things I had to look up before we started recording was the Rotten Tomatoes score, because I was desperate to know what people feel about this. It has a 67%. on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's about right.
And the audience score is almost identical.
Yeah, that's about right. This movie is not for everybody.
No, this is a love it or hate it kind of movie.
And I love it. I think we love it.
Like I said, I've been trying to get you to watch this for a long time because I was really curious what you'd think about it. And now that we've been exploring this wonderful world of cheesy action movies, I was like, it's time. Let's do the thing.
They don't make movies like this anymore.
It's fucking ridiculous.
And if they do, they're actually terrible.
They're too serious. Like, this movie knows exactly what it is, exactly what it wants to be.
All these fucking, like, direct-to-DVD and video and streaming movies where you get one big actor to give him a huge payday, give him half of the movie's budget, and just fart it out. No, this had a major studio and major actors signed onto it. And yeah, they really went for it.
And it's a very loose plot. From here, it just kind of unfolds. We find out, like, the baby likes rock music. It is part of the baby's personality. So they figure out, well, maybe it's because the mother, while she was pregnant, lived near a rock club.
Right.
And so the baby is comforted because he heard the music through all the amniotic fluid. And that boring politician on TV, he does not like him, but he loves rock music. So they just go and figure out this stupid plot where there is somebody making a baby factory above the club, and he can look and he knows that blood in that bag is bone marrow blood, and somebody is trying to make these babies because they need their bone marrow and they have to be a genetic match. And then he figures out it's a senator, and the senator is anti-guns, and if he dies,
it's a Democratic senator running for president,
and he's sure to win.
He's running on a platform of anti-gun
gun control.
God. What a fucking convoluted mess this is.
It is so stupid. And of course, everybody is after these babies because they don't want him to
get into office.
Get into office.
Yeah.
But then there's also, they're working together. So the bad guys with the guns are also working with the senator.
They cut a deal with the dying senator in order to keep him alive because he wants to live. And he's come around on his position about guns. The people will get behind me. God, this movie is, this is a very strange thing to say. This movie is both very anti-gun and very pro-gun at the same time.
It is absolutely that, and it's so confusing a stance to take because there's a lot of dudes who are just like, you know what I hate? Pussies with a gun.
Right.
Like, I'm a guy. What did he say? I'm a tough guy with a pussy in his hand. And then,
that was him turning it around. The first one was a pussy with a gun in his hand ends up being a tough guy.
Yeah, you could be a tough guy but a pussy, or you could be a pussy with a gun. It's just really stupid.
It's really stupid.
And then at the end, like, they finally get in a room together. He figures out it's the senator. He calls him and he says, tell him it's a guy with a baby. And I'm just jumping ahead because
you're all over the place.
Everything in between is kind of irrelevant. It's just a bunch of action sequences. And then the climax of the film is, well, if I kill you, then your legislation will still pass.
Yeah, because there's going to be a sympathy vote. The entire Congress will get behind it.
Because you were killed by guns.
Because you were killed by guns. And it's plausible. Like that, something like that, depending on what the political winds are at the time, that might actually come to pass.
Right. So it's weirdly believable, and there's a gun company that's like getting all the guns early to the goons in this group that are after him the whole movie. He's like, oh, that's weird. That's that particular new kind of gun that's not going to hit the streets for 6 months. Like, he just knows this. Everybody just knows everything in this movie.
Betsy, this movie is less than an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
And if you were to try to explain more of this, then it wouldn't be as good.
No.
It would not be as good.
You don't need it, though. That's the thing, is
don't.
It is convoluted for the sake of having some plot, when it almost would have been better to just have no plot.
Just scene after scene of just shooting.
That's basically
what it is, yeah.
Because, like, they get to the rock club and there's a big shootout scene there. They get to his apartment, there's a big shootout scene there. They get to a hideaway and she stores herself in a tank, and he causes a diversion. And even that is just a ridiculous sequence where he's spanking a grown woman who is spanking her son. And there's this running joke through the movie where he's like, do you know what I hate?
Right.
Do you know what I hate? And he then proceeds to tell everybody what it is he hates.
Uh-huh.
You know what I hate? Parents who beat their kids. How do you like it? And he just starts smacking this woman, and then he punches a security guard as a diversion.
And he does it without even really explaining it sometimes. No. There's the scene of him seeing the guy in the BMW parking in a handicap spot where he is clearly not in need of such a thing, and that's the car that he ends up stealing. There's the guy in the gun shop that is slurping his coffee and going, every time. Yes, that is extremely annoying. And at the very end, there's the guy using his straw too much.
There's that guy. There's a dude wearing a stupid earring. There's a dude with sandals and disgusting open toes, and disgusting his toenails feet. Are gross. And he doesn't even say it, but they give you the close-up as the viewer, like, you know what I hate? And it's just this thing and this thing and that thing. It's just throughout the movie. It's like, you know what I hate is this. Sure. And it's another reason for him to like beat somebody up or shoot somebody.
There's also the one about inconsiderate drivers not using your turn signal when you're passing people.
And he drives him off the road and crashes because he's so pissed off that he is driving without signaling, and then he litters. The thing that sets him off is he throws something out the window.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah. He's going on his tirade about how it's an inch. You just flick. You just do this. You see
my thumb has to move this much.
You see how little effort this is?
Right.
And then the guy throws something out his window and he goes, oh, that's it. And he speeds up and he slams into him and pushes him off the road.
No, I must have been writing a note or something, but no, I did not see that.
Yeah, that is what set him off, was he littered.
All right.
So you've got this weird moralistic dude who just can't stand people who are awful. He likes good people. The implication would be, because he doesn't seem to have any beef with other individuals in this movie. Like when he's on the bus with the baby, there's another woman with a baby, and her baby's wearing a little hat, and he's like,
takes his sock off.
This baby might be cold that I'm holding. So he takes his sock off and gives it a hat.
Uh-huh.
And he just sort of smiles at the woman on the bus. So he clearly doesn't have a problem with that. When he gets to the park, he leaves the baby because he's in a park surrounded by parents with children. And he is confident that this baby will find a good home here because of all the parents with all the children.
Uh-huh. And then one of the women there saying, oh my God, somebody left a baby here. And then she gets shot by Paul Giamatti.
Also, that was one of the single worst deliveries I've ever heard in a movie.
Uh-huh. That was pretty bad.
It's like she won a walk-on role 10 minutes before the movie.
Yep.
Oh my God, there's a baby here. It's so terrible. Oh God, what else? When they finally get away from the bad guys, they're in a hotel, and we have the obligatory sex scene. The two of them start fucking, and that's when the bad guys show up again.
More of them.
And he is stark-ass naked, throwing her body around the room.
Still inside of her.
Still doing the job while shooting these bad guys. And she is just being thrust against the wall and moaning and screaming like she doesn't even notice they're being attacked.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
She is such in the throes of passion that she cannot see all of the armed men coming to kill them.
Nope. And then when they do find, I already mentioned it, they go and find a tank.
Yeah.
They don't explain what's up with the tank.
No, not at all.
Where they are, why there's a military exhibit of sorts.
We also don't know what city this is in.
Nope.
No, nothing.
We just needed a tank, so here's a tank.
The only thing that would be impervious to whatever happens to be exploding around them.
Yeah, nobody's gonna get in because it's a tank.
Yeah.
So she'll be safe there. And this is where he has his miraculous breakthrough, because he looks at a newspaper clipping and he just figures it out. It's the senator. Why? Because I said so.
Because that's the only other thing that we introduced in the course of this hour-and-a-half movie.
Correct. And she is left to get on a bus. He says, we're going to separate. You're going to take the baby. You're going to get on this bus. And it's like a hippie bus that's really under the radar.
It's just going to go anywhere.
It's going to go anywhere. And I don't need to know where you're going.
I can't know.
I can't know.
If I know, then I'm going to come after you.
So he reaches out to the senator. They separate. She gets away. He gets on the plane with him. He basically makes contact, and they say, okay, well, he's flying to North Carolina for an election event.
Yeah.
Because it's almost the primaries. And so you can fly with him on the plane. And he gets on the plane, and this is where they reveal, oh, he's working with the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
He kidnaps the senator. He kills the senator. And then he manages to find a parachute and leaps out of the plane with more guys with parachutes immediately behind him.
Okay, this was the most ridiculous thing.
This was so over the top.
And it looks terrible.
Yes.
It looks so bad.
They're having a shootout mid-air with the parachute.
But I don't care. It's still fucking stupid. It's great.
It's like they know it's fake, and
Yes.
they're demonstrating to you, we're going to make this look as fake as possible. So it's just these ridiculous
The most important
zooms.
thing is that you can see his face, you can see his guns, and you can see exactly what he's doing with them.
Yep, they're
That's
flying.
it.
They're flying. There was no like stunt coordinators actually jumping out of planes. They're clearly just kind of flying around.
They're on wires in front of a green screen.
Yeah. In a studio.
That's all it is.
And of course, they all hit the ground, but not before he kicks one of them into the blades of a helicopter.
Because of course, if you show a helicopter and somebody's in the air, that's what it's going to be used for.
Yeah, and it's like just every action sequence is like this, where it just sort of starts out of nowhere, doesn't really make any sense being here, escalates to about a 15, and then it just ends suddenly and cut to the next scene. So
Yeah.
he like lands on the ground and he is surrounded by dead bodies. There's just these splats all around him.
Yep.
He goes into a nearby building
And he falls
and
asleep.
he falls asleep. And Paul Giamatti just finds him.
Of course.
Finds him there. We don't know how. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. He gets captured and brought back to whatever fucking lair is full of his taxidermied pets.
It's the gun
The
dude's house, I
gunsmith
think.
guy, yeah.
Yeah. And they torture him and break all of his fingers.
A few of them.
All of them. In the course of the torture. They only show us a few, but by
Okay,
the
fine.
end, his
Okay,
hands
fine.
are not functional.
No, and he gets away because Paul Giamatti is about to use a scalpel on his eye.
He's going for his eyeball.
And he headbutts him. I don't know how the hell he didn't get... Well, I guess he did get the scalpel into his skull, and then he fucking pushes it out of his skull and into his hand, and he starts...
Through his hand.
Through his
Trent.
head, into his hand, and is stabbing people with his hand scalpel thing.
Bleeding everywhere.
And, like, projectile bleeding onto the guy.
Yes, gushing much blood. And he kills everybody except for Paul Giamatti. And he gets a hold of a gun, but of course, because all his fingers are broken, he literally cannot squeeze a trigger.
Right, and Paul Giamatti is laughing maniacally in the hallway, saying...
As he's standing still,
Yeah.
Missing all the fire.
And of course, speaking of fire, Mr. Smith crawls over to... There's an open flame, because of course there is.
It's a beautiful rich man's house.
Of course.
It's got a lovely fire going.
What else do you have in a room like that? You have to have a fire going.
Taxidermy dogs.
Right. You go over there, and he's just kind of just hanging out, recovering from whatever it is. He dropped his gun. Paul Giamatti comes in, kicks the gun away, and says the bad guy lines. But Betsy, one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in a movie. He has his hand filled with bullets.
In between the
In
fingers.
between his broken fingers.
Somehow he managed to get the bullets out of the gun.
Yep.
And into his hand between the fingers while both of his hands are completely broken.
And he heats up his hand, which has the bullets, that heats it up
He
enough
sticks it in the fire.
to fire the bullets into Paul Giamatti.
Trent, have you ever seen that in a movie before?
No, but I've seen a similar thing in a video game. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then it just gets super weird because the two of them are having this back and forth, and he finally manages to shoot him, and he blows a literal hole, and you can see like parts of his lungs and rib cage, and you can see through him, and you can see Mr. Smith standing there.
Also, that would not work. That would not happen.
No, it's not happening. That would have to be a massive gun to do that.
That's the same guns that they were using the entire movie.
And I know there's like this whole subplot about they have special new guns because they're working with the gun company, but
Still.
Yeah.
Even a fucking like big ass Magnum would not do that. Anyway, that's pretty much the end of the movie.
Yeah, and then he gets on the bus and miraculously finds the lady again.
Sure.
Working at...
Days later with his hands all completely bandaged up. And he has the dog for some reason.
Because he likes dogs. He said it like she was trying to get him to kill the dog.
Oh, that's right. No, but I like dogs. It's one of the things
dogs.
I like.
And so the dog is left alone because his owner's dead and everyone else in that house is dead. So he just takes the dog with him.
Yeah.
And they go and find this woman at the one roadside cafe.
Because of course.
That he stumbles into.
Such a cliche.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. And then we have like one final shootout scene where once again he's using a carrot to like pull the trigger of this gun to all these robbers. So
Why not?
This is like the very, very short version, and I know we have skipped like a ton of things because there's just so many action sequences. So that's the bulk of the plot. So now I just want to go back because I know there are some things we skipped that you want to talk about.
Oh yeah.
So what are some of the moments that we haven't spoken about yet? Some of the action sequences that just particularly tickled you?
Well, it's the one where they go back to his hideout and they're trying to figure out what's going on, but then Paul Giamatti shows up because he always does, and they're like going up these ridiculous stairs. These
Every
like
apartment
circular
in a
stairs,
movie, windy stairs. You have to have the windy stairs.
Exactly, and he has the big shootout in his fucking warehouse apartment, and the music is going, and it's really cool. They got the conveyor belt there, and I can't really say too many specific things about it because I don't remember, but the best thing is at the end when he's going down the stairs, he sees Paul Giamatti and he's shooting at him, like recognizes him in a split second and is able to readjust his aim to target him
while he's falling
down
a rope,
and he gets all the way down and he lands on another dead guy and he goes squish.
Yeah, he lands
squish.
And Paul Giamatti says, "Are we just that fucking terrible?"
No. He says, "Do we just suck? Or is he that good?"
Do we suck that bad? I think
something
he
like
says.
that. Yeah, and that's not a thing that a bad guy would say.
In this movie, it is.
He
has some really awful lines. There's really like choice dialogue. When he steals the BMW, he says, not Paul Giamatti, but Smith. He says, "Do you know the difference between someone who drives a car like this and a porcupine?
Right.
With one of these, the pricks on the inside."
Yeah.
Fucking stupid.
And the only other scene that I wrote down was them in the gun warehouse where Clive Owen rigs up all of these guns to this fucking like mouse trap.
He's got like taped up to the walls, and he's got strings
tape
attached.
And string and everything under the sun is all put together. Most of those things you cannot manufacture.
No,
you're not allowed to do that.
It is literally out of a fucking cartoon. It is like a child's booby trap.
And as soon as you think that, oh, this one guy got the drop on him, he literally drops his gun and he triggers another trap and gets shot in the head.
Yeah, every single corner has some kind of gun attached to it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really ridiculous. There's also another sequence where he is trying to basically create a distraction and separate from Monica Bellucci so that she can escape with the baby. And there's this car chase where he jumps off of a bridge.
Yeah.
But he fires down and it's this car with a sunroof and he lands perfectly through the sunroof into the driver's seat.
And he's completely just nonplussed by it like he does it every day.
Because again, that's totally how physics works and broken glass and things of that sort. They have this big chase scene.
And it's not really even a chase scene.
It isn't.
It's a car scene.
It's a car chase. He crashes the car and rolls it. But because there's all this broken glass and shit, The baby that he has with him has fallen out of the car, and he has to drive back to go pick it up, and he's doing the thing where you just sort of lean out because he's already smashed his driver's side door off.
Yep.
And he's just reaching his hand down. He's going to snatch up the baby. He misses, so now he's driving straight forward towards a van full of goons.
There's like 5 guys in a van.
So he decides instead to shoot out the windshield, slams headfirst into them, but first unbuckles his seatbelt so that when the collision happens, he flies out his windshield, through their windshield, into the back of the van, and proceeds to kill them all.
So much for a seatbelt.
That is the most ridiculous. That is not how that would work. He's completely fine. The glass didn't touch him. He is projected and he just sort of lands on his face with a thud and immediately pops around and kills these guys.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, of course, the baby's not a real baby. It's like a creepy
rigs
robot.
Yeah, he rigs up this robot baby face and a tape recorder.
Like an actual tape.
Yeah.
Recorder.
Yeah. Remember tapes?
Where did he get this robotic baby?
Where did he have the time to rig all those guns? Where did he have the time and resources to make this fake baby? God damn it.
I don't know. I don't know. So that's just every fucking action sequence. None of it makes any sense, but you kind of just don't care as long as you're here for the ride.
I don't care at all. I had such a good time watching this movie. My face hurts from laughing so much.
Well, and you like a good rock tune, so this is kind of your jam.
Yeah, I was fucking rocking out. But man, I cannot believe it's taken this long for us to watch this movie. Thank you for suggesting this all those years ago. Because I've been wanting to watch it forever. We just have to find an excuse to do it. And putting this movie in with our not Oscars stuff is a perfect start to that whole thing.
Like I said at the beginning, like we are about to embark on the 6 remaining Oscar films that we have to watch for Best Picture.
Yep.
And this is about as far away as we are going to get from any of those movies in the coming weeks.
Yep, and we've got some gems planned for the not Oscars. So I'll just say this. The plan for us right now, let's just get into the ending here. The plan for us is the next 6 Wednesdays. Our Wednesday show will be an Oscar-nominated movie that we have not watched yet. We don't know the order. Some of them are not available to us quite yet. Most of them are.
We're figuring that all out.
We're going to figure all that out. Full disclosure, the Oscar nominations came out this morning that we are recording this, so we're going to have to figure it all out. But the Sundays, up until Oscar Sunday, will be whatever the fuck that we want. But a couple of them are actually going to be some milestones. If you've been paying attention, you know what's going to come out on episode 200. Then we also have our 200th movie.
Different things.
We have 2 different lists going on at the same time. We didn't plan this out very well, but goddammit, I don't care.
Well, when we have specials, it's hard to keep on track otherwise.
Yes, exactly.
You will never be lined up the way you want it to be.
Exactly. So just to kind of give you guys a heads up as to what we're doing here for the next couple of months. Until we hit Oscar Day, and then after that, I don't have any idea what we're doing.
Right. It gets to be a little quick and loose after that.
Yeah, it's going to be hard enough just to get all of the Oscar movies in. But we're going to do it for you, the people. All right, Betsy, take it away.
All right, we do have an email. Since we did an action movie, this email's about an action movie, about the recent sequel series we did where we watched John Wick 3. So this email is from Stephanie, and she says, "These movies do not disappoint.
Hell yeah.
There is just enough mystery to keep the world interesting, and the action is so damn fun. It is kind of funny that they always bring in these big names, but their roles are never very big. It is always John Wick's story. That Halle Berry fight is great, though."
The name of the movie is John Wick. So.
Yeah, he is going to be the focal point, but I do like that by the time they got to the third one, they upped the ante and brought in somebody who has an Oscar.
And the Halle Berry fight is, like, it's all her for the most part. It's like 80-20.
Her and a couple of dogs.
Yeah.
Kicking ass.
Great scene.
So we'll see who they bring in for the next movie as far as big name stars. I really don't know. I haven't heard anything. And this movie's coming out pretty soon.
And they literally, I think, just put out another trailer.
Yeah, we were watching the
We were
football
watching
game.
football, and it was just, hey, there's a John Wick trailer. What?
Yeah, I don't think that was previously aired before that. But it's soon. It's coming really quickly.
Yeah.
She continues, I'm not the biggest Matrix fan. The first one is very good, but the others... But the, quote, guns line was fun. Also, I love that John and Winston are besties. So yeah, if you didn't listen to this episode, or if you haven't seen John Wick 3...
I love that description. Oh, they're besties.
They are besties.
I said they were buds, but I like besties better.
But in this movie, he says, what do you need? Guns, lots of guns. Verbatim,
Lots of guns.
the way he did it in The Matrix. So it's a great callback. And she says, very excited for number 4, and will probably watch the spin-offs. I agree that even though a movie may not need a sequel, if you do it right, it can be great and very worth it. More John Wick and Knives Out sequels, please. Love you guys, superfan Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Yeah, like the movie we just watched, Shoot 'Em Up. Could you do a sequel to this? I mean, I guess. I don't really know what it would be.
Yes, you can.
It would just be another stupid action movie. At this point, though, Clive Owen is like pushing 60. Like, maybe we don't need that.
Yeah, this was there during the time where Clive Owen was very much in demand.
Very hot in demand.
Very hot. And I appreciate the fact that he said yes to this in the first place, and that it was just executed to perfection.
Well, speaking of other action movies that we recently watched, right before we started recording, we found out that they are planning to make a Violent Night 2.
Yes! Literally tonight!
With David Harbour, with the original creating crew. I'm so excited. I really hope that happens, that comes to fruition.
Christmas 2024. I'm sure that's when it's going to come out.
Shit, I would love it if it came out in 2023.
Sure, but I don't expect that to happen.
Listen, it's the kind of movie where you could just crank one out every fucking Christmas, because the worst thing you have to do to figure out is the action sequences.
Sure.
You need a very loose plot, and you need the action sequences.
Yeah.
So once again, I hope it's this year, but you're probably right. It's probably 2024.
I'm realistic. I don't think that's a possibility. With the way the production schedules are, you have to get the crews together, you have to get a release schedule together, and all of that stuff for Christmas of this year is already spoken for, I'm sure.
I don't care. I want it.
I want it too.
I want it so soon. I can't wait. Oh, but that's going to be it for this one. If you guys would like to email us your thoughts about this action movie or John Wick 3 or any other action movies,
or start talking to us about Oscar stuff. That is the time of year that we are in.
We have already covered Everything Everywhere All at Once, Top Gun Maverick, The Fabelmans, and The Banshees of Inisherin. So you can go check out those episodes now. We'll have more commentary about what they actually got nominated for now that we know what they got nominated for. At the time, we were just kind of guessing and doing our best what we thought they would get nominated for. But yeah, if you want to email us about any of those movies, action movies, or just a question you'd like to ask that we want us to talk about on the podcast, we love getting those emails as well.
Yeah.
You can do that, neverseenitpod@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. That's neverseenitpod1. We're also on Twitter, neverseenit_pod. Most of all, we would love if you would support the show by clicking the link in the podcast description and throwing us $1 so that we can keep bringing quality movies like this one your way.
Quality content.
Quality content.
You're never seen it, promise.
So do all those things. And in the meantime, we will be back with another episode of Never Seen It on Wednesday.
Oscar movie coming up.
Oscar movies coming your way and a bunch of stuff in between, like Trent said. Until then, I have been Betsy.
And I've been Trent.
And we will see you next time.
Bang, bang.